and girls, it's Mrs. Ruyack. I'm here today at Museum Village in Monroe, New York. And the museum here depicts life in the 1800s right here in Orange County. And I'm hoping that you'll get a chance to come visit the museum when we reopen, hopefully soon in the summertime. And I'm going to include with this lesson a free pass for you to come back with a grown-up once we reopen in the late spring or early summer. So make sure you click on that at the bottom of this lesson. The book I wanted to read to you today is called I Grew Up on a Farm. It's written by Alan K. Lewis, who actually grew up on a farm right here in Orange County. And we're here today at the Farm Tools building at the museum, and we'll step inside and we'll take a look at some of these tools before I read this book. These are tools that show what farmers had, what farmers used to take care of their crops and raise their vegetables and take care of their animals. And hopefully when you come back in the summertime with your family, you can take a closer look at some of these amazing tools. Over here in this corner, we have some items that would be found in an old farmhouse right here in Orange County. The old stove and the old ice box and the pie chest there. And with that in mind, I'm going to get started with our book, I Grew Up on a Farm. It's illustrated by Bob Fletcher. The publisher is actually Moo Press, which is right here in Orange County in Warwick. I grew up on a farm in a rural area not far from here. The farm is gone now, but I still remember exactly what it looked like. I remember my dad telling me he went to college to learn how to become a good farmer. He studied how to plant and harvest crops and take care of animals. The students practiced on the farm and in the fields of the college. One time, a herd of cows got into the cornfield. The cows ate all of the sweet corn just before it was going to be picked. Soon after my dad graduated, he and Mom married. They bought this farm, and our life on the farm began. My dad loved his truck. He hauled all the animal feed from town to the farm on his truck. He stored the feed in the big red chicken barn. When I was 12, my dad taught me how to drive the truck. I remember feeling so grown up. Driving all over the farm was exciting. I tried to go slowly and be careful, but one time I drove right into a haystack. We raised chickens, pigs, cows, turkeys, ducks, and geese on the farm. Every day I woke up early and did my chores. One of my jobs was to carry the heavy pails of slop for the pigs. We took care of the chickens, feeding them grain and water daily. In return, they laid many eggs that we sold. That's how we made a living growing food for other people. I had to gather eggs from the nests. The chickens didn't like that, and they pecked at my hand. We sold dozens of eggs every week from our roadside stand. People would always ask me, "Are those chickens fresh? Are those eggs fresh?" And I would say, "They're fresh from the chickens." We sold to bungalow colonies and advertised in the newspaper. People drove from far away to buy fresh eggs, chickens, and vegetables from us. And these are little snippets from actual newspapers that had the ads for Mr. Lewis's farm. See, Lewis Poultry Farm. When our chores were done, the farm became our playground. My cousins from the city visited often. They loved all the things we did on the farm. On hot summer days, we ran through the fields chasing ducks and chickens. We had contests to see how many grasshoppers and crickets we could catch. My dad would take us for a ride in the back of the truck. We rode all over the farm. It was a bumpy ride through the hay fields, and we had to hold on tight. At night, we slept in tents under the stars. Our favorite nighttime games were playing flashlight tag and catching fireflies in jars to watch them light up. Way past our bedtime, we finally drifted off to sleep, listening to the katydids in the trees and the croaking of bullfrogs in the pond. Come take a zoom in and let's take a close look here. We had 6 dogs on our farm and cats everywhere. There were always plenty of puppies and kittens to play with in the summer. One of our dogs was an Airedale named Sandy. She loved to sit with my brother and me in the cool shade of the maple tree near the pond. That dog followed us everywhere. I love the way the illustrator has inserted a picture of Mr. Lewis and his brother, a real picture with their dog, and then created the scenery with paint. It's really neat. I fished almost every day in the summer. My cousins would fish with me. Along with fish, we caught salamanders, snakes, turtles, and frogs. My brother and I caught the biggest snake in the pond. After scaring the girls with it, we let it go. I had a pet squirrel named Nutsy. My cousins would laugh when he climbed on my head. Once my dad got the tire of our farmwall tractor caught in a hole. The tractor flipped up and popped a wheelie. Luckily, no one was hurt. I think that's the picture from the cover. Look at that. On Sunday afternoons in the summer, my family would have picnics on the back lawn under the big maple trees. At the big Labor Day picnic, we ate barbecue chicken and corn on the cob from the vegetable garden. Soon it was time to go back to school. When we got home, we did our homework and then played hide and seek in the big red barn. Fall was a good time for riding horses. We rode horses all the time. When we were little, Mom and Dad would take us for a ride on their horses, Pokey and Bucky. When I was older, I rode my own horse, Stormy. We named him Stormy because he was born in a field in the middle of a storm. Galloping up the road was fun and a little scary because Stormy was so big and so fast. I always made time to ride him when my chores were done. In the wintertime, we went sledding on the big hill above the pond. We packed the snow down to make a slick run for our sleds. Then we raced down the hill and across the pond. When our friends came over, we would build snowmen, throw snowballs, and ice skate on the pond. I loved winter on our farm. After sledding, skating, and building snowmen, my mom made yummy hot chocolate to warm us up. The school bus picked us up in front of our house and took us to our school. The bus driver taught us to sing, "The wheels on the bus and on top of spaghetti." Our schoolhouse had only 3 rooms and 3 teachers. First and second grades were together in one room, third and fourth grades in another room, and fifth and sixth grades in the last room. Here's what a typical classroom looked like back then. I remember how hard it was to keep the inside of the desk neat. By the end of the school year, my desk was packed full of papers, broken crayons, artwork, and nubby little pencils. My second grade reader looked like this. We would practice our letters and learn new words. I especially liked the stories about animals. Growing up on the farm was fun for my brother and me, but it was hard work for my parents. Although they worked from sun up to sundown, they always made time for us at the end of the day. Dad used to say that the best things he grew on his farm were his kids. At the end of the day, after our baths, my dad, my brother, and I would read books and share stories about our day. Then it was time to go to bed and dream of adventures to come. And today, here's Mr. Lewis. The farmhouse still stands and has been modernized inside and out. The red barn is gone, and the green barn has been turned into a kennel with my office. Over the years, the trees have grown and the pond has dwindled to a stream. Although I didn't go into farming, I never lost the love of growing things. An avid gardener and landscaper, I have a small greenhouse where I grow flowers and vegetables from seed, and then I plant them in my yard every summer. Sometimes I drive past where the old farm stood more than 50 years ago and relive the memories of my wonderful childhood. I'm now an educator working in a modern school about a mile away from the family farm site and my old schoolhouse. I enjoy helping students and teachers grow. I guess in many ways I followed in my father's footsteps, although I haven't had a tractor to pop a wheelie on me yet. The end.